All right. Hope everybody's having a great day today. It is Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. I just wanted to jump on here and give you guys an update on a couple of different things. The first thing that I definitely want to share is my disclaimer, guys. Don't forget, I am not a financial advisor. The information that I share is for informational and educational purposes only. The information is also prophetic in nature, depending upon if I'm speaking about prophetic insights, dreams, visions, words of knowledge, etc. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and get into the content. A couple of things that are very interesting about what's taking place right now. Bitcoin XRP is pretty much tanking. This is potentially the market correction that we've been waiting for. It crashed today. In fact, it went as low as $1.40. It went as low as $1.40, right? That's pretty crazy. From literally, it dropped all the way from $1.56 to $1.40. And this is the 5-minute chart. So we're talking in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, it dropped from $1.56 all the way down to $1.40. Huge. That's just basically a dump. That's just a dump, right? You could see the volume here that was released. Hang on. Well, I thought I had that up earlier. Anyhow, is this not pulling up? There we go. Okay. Now it's working. 49 million. And then 36 million back to back. So there was just a huge sell-off that began to take place. And then, so now the price is sitting at $1.44, $1.45. No, $1.45. All right. Obviously struggling this morning. Okay. So what I want to talk about at this time, guys, is that if you have been sitting waiting for, for the market correction to take place, this could be potentially it. One of the things that I do believe is very interesting is the timing of various things. Yesterday, I did a video where I actually talked about the dream that I had yesterday morning. Is that right? And it was 1.97. This is crazy, guys. I've never seen such a clear number. Now, yesterday on my video, I went back and forth on whether it was 197 or 198.5. And the reason why is because I'll tell you what happened is in my dream, I saw one, and this is what's crazy about this. I don't think I released this yesterday on my video. And this is why I'm actually, deciding to do it today, because I just want it to be accountable. I want it to be out there in the event that, this comes to pass. Honestly, it's really, really crazy, guys. It's not only crazy, it's just really crazy, because now we're talking, I've never seen a tenth of a penny or a hundredth of a penny in the decimal regions, guys. Never. And it was just very crazy how it occurred yesterday. And, like I said, I woke up, or actually I was dreaming that I was waking up, interestingly enough. And I was going to look at the charts to see where XRP was, because that was the night where it was pushing through. I think it was $1.45 range, which is quite interesting because that's where it's holding right now after it pumped. Remember, resistance, okay, can then become support. And so that's what, remember the $1.45 range. Let's just go back and look at it right here. See, this is what I was talking about yesterday at 6:50. Okay. I was talking to the trader, remember, and I was telling him I believed it was going to push through, and it did. And so that was the range it was sitting at, was that $1.45 range. And then it blew through it, right? See, $1.45, $1.45, $1.45. It was just, look at this. It was just so often hovering at this range. Boom, 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 fluctuating. And so I was like, it was like I dreamt that I was waking up to see what the price was the next morning. And to see if it had pushed up, I think, even further. I don't remember exactly how this all went down. And hang on, what day am I on here? No, this would have been last night. I don't think that's the place that I'm referring to. Maybe this is what I was referring to right here. On the night of the 21st. That makes a little bit more sense. So, oh shoot, I just messed up my, all right. So, anyway, like I said, it was around the $1.45 range, and I was feeling like it was going to push through. And I went to bed that night, and I woke up the next morning, and actually, sorry, I didn't wake up. I'm all over the place this morning. So I ended up in my dream, waking up in my dream, as I was waking up, I went to go check the charts. And when I looked at the charts, I was almost expecting it to drop, because that night he basically had said that a few different things he had said. We were way overbought, which, expect a market correction or a sell-off or all these different things when that takes place from an analysis standpoint. So I was almost like feeling this, like I was going to be disappointed. And then when I looked at the numbers in my dream, as I was waking up in my dream, I literally saw 1.9752. Now, here's the interesting thing that I want to point out is I'm not quite sure if the 2 was the exact number after the 5. It might have been 1.97502 or something of that nature, 1.9752 something. But it was like so clear in my dream. And then I was like waking up because I'm like, I got to remember this. I got to remember this. And so then I thought it was like, my mind in the natural oftentimes will try to use certain like highlights or bullet points or something of that nature to try to remember like the starting point, and then I would begin to break down from there the rest of it based upon like memory recall. And so I was in my mind, I was rounding it up, I believe, to $1.98 just so that I could remember where it was. And I think that's where I came up with the $1.97 or the $1.98. But either way, it was 5.2 after that, 1.9852, 1.9752, but I really believe it was the 1.9752. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, and the reason why I think the timing is very interesting, is because I had this dream the day before. Where am I at? Where are we at here? There we go. All right, it's up to $1.47, so it's come up a couple cents since we've been streaming here. And however, this big dump that obviously gets bigger the more you expand it. But this thing right here was intense. How this candle dropped all the way down to $1.40. That's incredible. So this is great. This is very good. I'm telling you, this is very good because remember, the trader actually said that the dump or the market correction or the pullback, as they call it, would be good for the health of the bull run. Okay, we talked about this the other day. But what I also like is the fact that I had that dream yesterday, because when you endure hardships in life, oftentimes the prophetic is intended to give you a word to stand upon in the face of adversity, right? In the face of, and that's what we've been doing this whole time, guys. If you remember, if you've been a part of this from the beginning, I know we have a lot more people on. And I've been blown away, guys. I just want to be honest with you. I've been really blown away. I think I said this in my video yesterday. It is definitely another opportunity. Yes, it's definitely another opportunity. That's why I titled this video Black Friday Sale Starts Now. For those of you guys who understand what Black Friday is, I don't know if it's abroad or just in the U.S., but after Thanksgiving, we have the Black Friday, and everybody's already promoting right now the Black Friday sales event. And so I titled this Black Friday Sale Starts Now. You can get in, this is the early Black Friday sale price of XRP. But I've really been blown away, guys, because it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that, because I've not seen the $1.97 resistance, but I have heard people say what was it? I don't even remember. My mind is obviously, I need to do a detox or something, a cleanse. But so anyhow, yeah, basically there's been several discussions about a resistance in that range, around the $2 range. And so it's really interesting because remember, after my first dream, okay, of the 92 cents, remember this? The original resistance that was there in the market that I never knew about. That's crazy. There's 93 people on right now, guys. If you could see this, I know you can't see it because you guys are only watching from one platform, but I'm streaming to 5. And but what's interesting is that back when I had the dream of the 92 cents, there was actually a resistance level at 93. And so if you were trying to pull something out of a hat, you could have guessed 93 is where, it will hit next or whatever. And did he really say that yesterday? Pam, come on, you gotta specify. Yesterday? That's crazy. Guys, that's crazy. I'm telling you, this is crazy. And here's the thing, I've been really struggling, guys, because people have been asking me what about XLM? What about XLM? What about XLM? And I'm like, right now, I'm just going to be honest with you. It's not always easy to steward the prophetic. I want to tell you guys the truth. And you guys are probably doing the same thing, because especially when you see XLM, it has a larger spread, meaning it's a cheaper coin. And if it's cheaper, but it flows with the market of other coins, like it does follow XRP, well, you're going to have larger returns on XLM than you are on XRP, even though they share the same market fluctuations. And the problem is, guys, no, let me backtrack. So if you look at the charts since the election, XLM has actually doubled the amount of profit margin that you could make on XRP. The percentage that it's grown is almost double of what XRP has achieved. And so like you could sit there and you could be like, you know what? Let me just put it in to XLM because that's better. The problem is they're two different companies. And, XLM targets like more peer-to-peer decentralized market. XRP, however, is targeting like banks and in commercial type stuff. And so that's why I have to stay on the prophetic word because of this. Everything follows Bitcoin, right? And they talk about when it decouples from Bitcoin and begins to, operate on its own. Sometimes that can be bad. Like if it decouples and it doesn't actually start rising with Bitcoin when, other coins are rising with Bitcoin. But it also can be beneficial where, other factors are at play. And so, so my point is this, guys. If XRP, okay, no, it's Frankie, it's not a sister company. It's not a sister company. It's actually they're arch enemies. They're arch enemies. Jeb McCaleb helped create XRP and their visions were different. So he went out on his own and basically created a competition. Okay. But this is my point, guys. Like people are trying to marry them together because they follow the market because their build and the concept is similar. And that's what I'm talking about. It's similar until it's not. There are huge differentiators that are at play here, like this. This is what I'm about to say. If XRP signs a deal with the United States for the financial with Trump, at this private meeting, or, because that's my point. XRP is, it could be, there's talks of them partnering with Cardano. Have you guys heard of that? There's talks of XRP partnering with Cardano. And this could be huge. Like, and so my emphasis is, guys, is that it's going to be it's going to be um, it's going to be a possible breakaway. And all right. Sorry, I just had some guy going crazy in the comments saying he couldn't hear me, and he's the only one. So I just removed him. But so as long as it looks like everybody else can hear me. But that's the thing, guys, is that if XRP signs a deal, and that's why following the prophetic is so important. And that's what I told you guys from the beginning. Yeah, thank you. I thought so. So I don't know what the guy was going through, but he was going literally, like, there were so many comments about not being able to hear me, and I just felt like he was being used as a distraction. So I just banned him because I was obviously discerning correctly. But anyhow, so what ends up taking place is when you follow the word of the Lord, you'll always be safe. Nobody knows all the different variations and the fluctuations and the different mergers and deals and acquisitions and partnerships and maneuvering and decoupling and all these different things that could take place. And so while I could take some of my XRP and convert it to, XLM and think to myself that, I could diversify, I'm okay. I'm comfortable just stewarding the word of the Lord. And that's just where I'm at. However, I did take, about $100 and put it into this new meme coin that's on the XRP ledger. This was actually pretty fun. I want to share this just in the event that anybody wants to get involved in this. But if you guys have been sitting on the fence, waiting to buy the dip, which I think is very risky, very crazy. Oh, you know what? As I'm going to my personal Facebook page, guys, as I'm going to my personal Facebook page, I'm seeing once again that there are people commenting that I'm not seeing your comments on my streaming software. And so I have to remind you once again, if you're commenting on my lives and you actually want me to see them, because I use StreamYard, I'm not going to see them if you're on Facebook, because you have to go to StreamYard.com/Facebook and just just give your StreamYard permissions for your comments to be seen, because otherwise I'm not going to see them. YouTube, all day long. YouTube, I can see all the comments. It's just about the permissions that Facebook has. That is just really, because I see Jeff, I see Christine, a couple people commenting on, no, XLM is not associated with Ripple. XLM is not associated with Ripple. But also, please remember too that yesterday in yesterday's video, I did I shared about how a couple of different prophetic individuals said they saw $2 coming. Okay, let me comment here. So this is a pretty cool. This thing is being stupid. It's not taking my comments because they're too big, apparently. Yeah, that'll work. So I got this coin. This coin did 45% in 20 hours yesterday. 45% in 20 hours. That's the beauty of new launch coins. It's kind of an interesting thing if you're not used to crypto. If you're used to crypto, you're going to want to grab this coin, guys, because you know it's at 5 cents right now, and it has some good volatility, but it's also continuing to climb. It did just experience the same dip that all the other coins are experiencing. Oh, by the way, everybody who understands or may not understand, all the big dip that we just saw, where you're getting XRP on the Black Friday sale right now. All the other coins did the same dip, guys. Just FYI, and it's actually climbing. XRP is climbing dramatically. It's already back up to $1.50. Okay, remember it was $1.45 when we started this live. It was $1.57 when it began to tank. Okay, $1.57, and it dropped as low as $1.40 on this long candle here. But since then, it's started coming back up. While we've been on this live, it's come up significantly, and it's back up. Now it's $1.51 and continuing to rise, guys. I just want to say, this is the most dramatic dip that we have seen. I like this. Judy says, I bought again straight away. Exactly. Right? A beautiful dip. It really is a beautiful dip. Okay. Pulling out of that dip pretty fast. I got to point out, this is what signifies this thing's on its way, guys. I'm telling you. Do you hear what I'm telling you? I'm telling you that this signifies that its health is strong. Okay? So, and we don't know. Boy. All right. Joseph Z, Kim Clement, Brandon Biggs are also ones that I've seen prophesy about XRP besides you. So we are in good hands. Come on, man. This is what I was. All right. You just did something right there, Mr. D Towers. Let me tell you guys what Mr. D Towers just did. Let me tell you what Mr. D Towers just did. Also, I got to point out the real Derek here. Very faithful commenter on our YouTube channel. Always love the energy that you bring to the table, Derek Jackson. And so it is, the stability is very incredible. You know, pointing that out, the stability that we actually saw, yeah, of course it had a freaking lid on it during the SEC appeal. I'm sorry, during the SEC lawsuit, you know, a huge lid on it, right? But even then, even with that lid, it held its own, right? People thought when it went below 50 cents, it was going to be the crash of death, you know, and all these different things. No, it dipped, but it held its own, man. Okay. Let me get back to what D Towers said. This is powerful. I want to point this out. Yesterday we were on I was on a meeting with some friends in the ministry, and they've been trekking along with me for the past couple of years in crypto. They followed me into Forex and all these different things because they're friends, ministers. And we were on a call yesterday, and I was talking to them about the prophetic. And I was saying, what was I was talking to them about the prophetic, and somebody said, I don't know, a question. Why do you think this, or why do you think that? And I said, there's a couple things that you can take note of concerning the prophetic. Okay. A couple things you can take note of concerning the prophetic. Number one is the frequency of the prophecies. When you see mass number of prophets prophesying the same thing, I want to tell you something. It is power. It's power. You know how Jesus said, where two or more are gathered in my name, there I will be in the midst. There is power in unity. There's power in numbers. There's another scripture that says one can put 1,000 a flight and 2 10,000. And so there is strength in numbers. And oftentimes when God releases a word, if it's a power word, he will manifest that through multiple prophets in order to bring about this culmination of power to emphasize something that will deploy a power move in the spirit that obviously will affect the natural. And so what's interesting about D. Towers' comment is because he's exactly right. Another thing that you can look at is Kim Clement. Kim Clement. Kim Clement passed away years ago. He prophesied about XRP even further back many more years ago. And when God, and he said that God says this would be a good investment. When God is speaking, and this is my point, guys, he did not say XLM. It's kind of like Doge. When Doge took off, and I was like, oh man, why didn't I get into that one? But I'm like, nope, I got to trust the word. And then XRP began to just take off after Doge. Okay. And then I started feeling better. I'm sure everybody did. The point is that you have to stay according to the word, because when you begin to lean on your own understanding, as the scripture says, be careful not to, then you begin to make sense of things that may make sense according to what you know, but it won't make sense according to what you don't know. And that's the thing, is that God sees what we don't see. Hello. Come on, man. When the SEC appealed, how many of y'all actually struggled? Or how many of y'all thought that maybe it was not going to come to pass? Maybe you thought at that point it was the Chinese food I had for dinner back in August when I had that dream, all of the above. When the SEC appealed, right? And when the SEC appealed, some people are like, I don't know now, Jon, I don't know now. Now, I don't know, man. Right? And the reason I say that is because, boom, God says, in your face, right? We talk about that in the ministry, about those in your face words, right? Well, this is an in your face fulfillment of the word. It's like, and I talked about this, remember, from the very beginning of this dream, of me giving this dream. I talked about this from the beginning. What did I say? I said, I even used the testimony of when we got the house and how God spoke to us and told us to step out and believe, move into the motorhome and believe for this miracle house. And then guess what happened? Remember the testimony. The market did what? It went the opposite direction. And I even caught myself telling my family one day, I'm either going to apologize to you guys in the coming days, or God's really going to get the glory for this. Because remember, we had sold our house for 12%. Watch this, 12% over asking price, cash offer, sight unseen. In other words, as soon as it hit the market, before anybody could even schedule a visit, somebody came up with 12% over our asking price, cash offer, sight unseen, take it now, I want your house, because that was the market. That was the market that we were in. And then God says, step out, move into the motorhome. And now I want you to believe for this miracle house that has been prophesied over you, by the way, for 2 years. We received prophecy after prophecy after prophecy about this house with a pool, etc. And guess what happened, guys? Over the next 6 months, the market got worse for buyers. It got better for sellers. But it was now people were like, they were having bidding wars like crazy. It was already having bidding wars when we sold the house. 6 months later, the market was way worse. It got so bad, you couldn't even find a house. Even in all of our looking, we're like, there's nothing available. What have I done? However, we have to steward the word of the Lord. And then, boom, we ended up getting this house for $30,000 below asking price, which guess what, guys? We had a prophetic word that we would get a house for $30,000 below asking price. The exact freaking number. And so I shared that from the beginning when I talked about this word. And then when time ensued, I shared my word. Did you guys ever see the little short video that I made? From the time that I gave the word, you can actually see the price crashed. It was crashing for the 2.5 month period since I gave the dream. And then from there, just spiked through the roof. Nobody saw it coming. Trump wasn't even as pro crypto as he was in the last 2 weeks before the election, guys. 2 weeks. Nobody saw this coming. Sure, he said some things about crypto, but in that 2-week period before November 5th, he went nuts. He said, I'm going to fire Gary Gensler on day one. He's the public enemy number one of XRP. I mean, he said so many things. He said, we're going to make Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's going to be made in America, Then he started saying no taxes on all U.S. crypto companies. Like all this crazy jargon. Nobody saw this stuff coming. He said all of those things in the last 2 weeks before the election. Nobody saw it coming, but God did. And without those things, folks, without those things, none of this would have happened. Do you hear what I'm saying? Mark my words. Without those things, none of this would have happened. I'm telling you. You know that guy that comes into the conversation at the very end and starts asking questions, and you're like, hang on a second. We got to go way back. Richard, you are so late to the party, man. I really appreciate it. But this is where the phrase comes up where they say, don't judge a book by its cover. Okay. The title. So hilarious. No, it's cool, Richard. It's cool, man. So I appreciate your so Richard, what ended up happening is it tanked, man. It went from $1.57 to $1.40 in 15 minutes. It totally sunk. And I was just trying to explain to people. That's why I also titled the video Black Friday Pre-Sale Starts Now. Okay? Because this is where you can buy in. And so if people bought in at the beginning of this video, you would have already been making profits, right? Appreciate the subscription, Richard. Thank you, sir. Jacob. Listen, I want to tell you something. The dream that I had yesterday about it hitting $1.9752. Guys, I've never gotten, like I said, the 10th of a penny or the 100th of a penny in the decimal point in my dreams. Never to this day. And that's why, honestly, that's why I was reluctant about even sharing the 5-2 in the beginning. I'm like, I don't even know. That's a little too specific. But then I said to myself yesterday, as I was processing this, I'm like, you know what? If I'm along for this ride with Jesus, let's do this ride, man. Let's do it, and let's do it right. You know what I'm saying? Because let's speculate and say it hit this number. And it would have to, remember, it would have to hit it and bounce off, because you understand, guys, this ain't no freaking, we're not playing with the prophetic here. When God gave me a dream that it would hit 92 cents, boom, it hit 92 cents. When he said it would be a week to a week and a half, it hit 92 cents in 10 days, exactly a week and a half. That was 2 months and 3 weeks before. So I think God can do it. Somebody say, I think God can do it in the comments. Amen. All right. I mean, sort of. Whoops, wrong comment. He says little clickbait title. Not really clickbait, more like high emphasis. High emphasis. I think clickbait is when people just really in just to get you to see nothing in many cases. So I prefer not to use that word, because I feel like we got something going on here. Yeah, exactly. God can do anything but lie. That is exactly right. And that's why when I had the dream that it would hit 92 cents and that it would take off in a week to a week and a half, these were two different dreams, 2.5 months prior. And then 2.5 months later, when the unthinkable happens, remember, if these things hadn't happened that I just described, Trump, mouthing, all of those things in the last 2 weeks before the election, none of this stuff would have happened. None of this stuff would have happened, guys. But God knew it 2 months and 3 weeks ago. And so to hit 92 cents on the 10th day, a week and a half that it took off, I mean, come on, you can't even freaking, and that was the number that it hit and bounced off of that day, marking like, and that's what I tell people. It would have to, in order for it to, in the way that the market works, reading the charts, in order for it to be a prophetic fulfillment, it would have to hit and bounce off, because that's the only way to signify. I mean, the lesser way would be if it hit and sat there for a long time. But I don't know. Some people might not even be convinced by that. Doesn't matter. Some people aren't convinced even when it freaking comes to pass in the way that it did. It was incredible. It was glorious. And so that's how you know. That's how you know it's God. Because only God can do what he did. Only the voice of God can speak that clearly, knowing. Oh, so anyway, let's see. I actually saw a post. I saw a post where somebody was saying, let's bring this back. And it was back when, XRP was the number 2 coin at one point, it was the number 2 coin at one point. And that was why this thing was such a big deal, guys. The whole ride. Many of you guys don't even realize the Bible says God works all things together for the good of those who love him and are called according to his purpose. Actually, I'm forgetting XLM. Augie Doggy, I talked about that at the beginning of this video. I encourage you to go back and watch it. I'm forgetting about it. And I said why. I like the fact of what XLM's doing right now, guys. I like it a lot. In fact, I'm a little jealous because it's almost doubled. But remember, I talked about this in the beginning of the video, guys. And there's a big reason why I have to follow the prophetic. Come on. God knew. God didn't tell Kim Clement XLM. God didn't tell Brendan Biggs XLM. And God did not give me a dream about XLM. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is my point. God did not give Kim Clement a prophetic word before he passed away years ago that XRP would be a good investment. I'm sorry, XLM. God did not tell him XLM. He told him XRP. And this is the stuff that I'm trying to speak about to people, so they have to be very careful. He may have talked about XLM, Marcos, but he didn't say XLM would reach $10,000. So absolutely, Kim Clement was told about XRP. He prophesied it years ago. I've shared the video. Yep. Hang on just a second here. La 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 la. Let's take a look here. Here we go. Found it. This is pretty exciting. Let's see if I can get my computer to work. Yeah, I like Trey Smith a lot. He's a great guy. In fact, he does a lot of Kim Clement's prophetic words. Yeah, and that's a good point. Let me just point out what Top V said, just to kind of, well, I don't know what he's talking about. He keeps saying this 1776. I don't even have time to process all that right now. However, what I will say is this. XRP, XLM, gold, silver, the Iraqi dinar. There's a lot of prophetic investment opportunities, guys. There really are. And yeah, Trey Smith's videos are awesome for sure. I've always liked that guy. He's got a really cool, way of speaking into the camera. I like his charisma. So let me pull this up for you guys because it was Richard. I think it was Richard that asked this question. Yeah, Shiba, Dogecoin. I mean, they're all good, guys. Guys, Ethereum was prophesied to do very well. Ethereum's going to hit 10,000, but that's not really big of a jump. It's only like, it's already like 3,500 right now. It would only have to freaking, triple to hit that. The problem is that's my point. Ethereum tripling is great, but XRP, multiple thousands and 10,000s and hundreds of thousands of, percentile, growth is going to be way different. Exactly. 3 times is nothing. It's not, and so, yeah, this is my point, guys. Okay. I love what we're doing right here because this is actually helping people to understand, right? When you are talking about Ethereum, as an example, was prophesied that it was going to go up. And it was prophesied it was going to hit 10,000. This is great, but whoop-de-doo when you understand that that's only a 3x. This is my point. So a lot of people could be diversifying and they're like, oh, diversification is great. I'm a firm believer. But I'm here to tell you, when you have Kim Clement, here we go. Watch this. Pay attention, folks. Pay attention. God didn't tell nobody about Bitcoin for some reason. Listen, this is all right. I just got to, all right, watch this. Hang on. You ready? Is everybody paying attention? Is everybody paying attention? May I have your attention, please? Kim Clement. Dun, da, da, da.
But something starting with an X and it has a P in it is a very profound something that's going to be worth investing in. And I can't say the whole thing because I don't know it. But I had a dream and I saw an X and I think there may have been a number and something else and then P. But something starting with an X and it has a P in it is a very profound something that's going to be worth investing in. And I can't say the whole thing because I don't know it. But I had a dream and I saw an X and I think there may have been a number and something else and then P.
All right. Guys, this is Kim Clement. When was that video? I think it was like 2005. I think that was 2005. Hang on. Hang on. We got another one here, guys. Crypto Canuck. Guys, listen, I want to remind everybody, let's go back, okay, to the beginning of life. He looked young, right? Do not come into the tail end of a conversation and start asking questions, okay, with you're like, there's no way. All right. However, let's okay, this is what I wanted to point out. I want to honor this right here. This is the manifestation that I'm describing. He says, I saw the Brendan Biggs prophecy, then Kim Clement. And so when you had your dream, I was all in. I just want to say I'm so thankful just to see the fruit of what this has done for people to release this dream. Because so many people message me. In fact, I've connected with a lot of people in crypto over the years because I've been in crypto for a couple of years. And so people are now posting about XRP because it's just huge. And people are like, wow, look at XRP. What? They're like posting this on their Facebook. And so I'm commenting in the comment section and I'm like, yes, God prophesied this back in August. And I'm sharing my little video, my little 1-minute video that gives the sequence of events just to show them, to help people understand the reality of God. And I commented on somebody's post. One of my Facebook friends, most of them I really don't know who they are. And I commented and I said, yeah, God, gave a prophetic word about this or said this was coming back in August. And one lady commented underneath, who was another Facebook friend of mine. I don't really even know who she is. And she said, yeah, she's like, we saw that. She says, that's why my husband went all into XRP. She said, thank you. And I'm just like, man. And then somebody told me that their parents bought $10,000 worth and like they're very happy campers right now. And then somebody was asking me if I could help them set up a wallet recently. And I said, sure. And then they said, I have a guy who bought me $600 worth of crypto, and he says it's doubled, and I'd like to send it to that wallet. Can you help? And I said, sure, friend of mine. And so I called this guy. I don't even know who he is. And I said, what are you sending? And he says, XRP. And I'm like, oh, okay, great. And he says, yeah. He says, I want to thank you for putting out that content. He says, that's why we ended up getting into XRP, because of your dream. And I'm like, this is crazy. Like, I mean, I just can't believe how far this has reached, how many people have been blessed by this dream. And I'm just so thankful because, that's what it means to obey the word of the Lord, right? And so it's extremely impressive to see the reward of what it has meant to steward. Started buying when I saw Brandon's message. A few other ladies spoke of XRP, then found Jon's channel. His 92 cents sealed it for me. When it came to pass, or when you saw the video? Just curious. When it came to pass, or when you saw the video? Either way is fine, but I'm interested. Speaking of which, while I'm waiting to see your comment, let me take a look at where we're at right now on the chart, on the charts. It's at $1.49. Remember, it dropped to $1.40. It was at $1.45 when we started this live. It actually rose to $1.51, but now it's at $1.49. Awesome. Well, he didn't answer. Ian Buell, are you still there? Oh, there he is. I bought the final 7K just before you said 92, but after the dream came to pass, I felt peace about it. Amen. Amen. Here we go. More people coming in at the tail end of a conversation. Oh my gosh. Don't judge a book by its cover, folks. We learned that in elementary school. I don't know what you call it in your country, but over here in the United States, we call it elementary school. All right. That's exactly what we described. We said it was a healthy retrace from the very beginning of this video. Rodney, thank you. Thank you. I'm holding 40K because of you. Praise God. We have to be patient, he says. That's why I'm telling people to buy more. Oh, man. Jim, I actually have a whole crypto course. It's $59. It's in the description section. Grab it if you're interested. But I teach people how to set up a wallet. I tell them how to store long-term crypto holds, short-term crypto holds, all these different things. You and me both, Ian. You and me both. I mean, when you're all in, though, you can't be disappointed, right? You guys know I freaking leveraged debt to do this, right? Hang on. Is this what? Isn't this what that other dude was saying? I think it was it Richard? Or was it D Towers? Richard said it. Waters above. No, I haven't. Yeah, for sure. That's what I was saying is I actually leveraged debt to do this because of my dream. I was very familiar with God speaking to me in my dreams. And I've even said from the beginning that I had made those dreams accountable to community chats, to community groups where a lot of people were in there and they got to see them come to pass. So I was already trained up in the validity and the accuracy. However, this was the first one that didn't manifest in 1 to 2 days. All the other ones manifested in 1 to 2 days. And that's why I actually, that's why I wanted to come on here and share with you the dream that I had yesterday, because I wasn't sure. Oh, you know what? Shoot, I can't believe I didn't pull this up yet. Okay, I want to share this with you guys because this is a big deal. Now, we did have a little bit of a reversal that took place a couple of hours ago, but I want to show you guys something. Do you guys remember the Bitcoin dominance chart that we've talked about in the past on these videos? So the Bitcoin dominance chart is, we want it to go low because that normally drives the altcoins up, because this is the dominant, this chart basically shows how dominant Bitcoin is compared to altcoins. And so when this goes up, for example, that means Bitcoin is growing in dominance, which is not beneficial for us who are holding altcoins. So we want to see it go down, because when Bitcoin begins to lose its power, its dominating power, that means altcoins are growing in their dominance, and that's what we want to see. And so you can see, as of this was 2 days ago. As of 2 days ago, over the past 2 days, the dominance has been decreasing significantly, to the point where it's about where it was on the 10th. And so this is a good sign. Now, like I said, it has retraced a little bit upwards right here. This is probably where we begin to see the drop today. I'm not quite sure, but either way, we want to see this continue to decrease. I think they say altcoin season. I looked it up today, and correct me if I'm wrong if you're on here, but I read some articles that basically said that altcoin season really floors when the Bitcoin dominance is actually at 45%. However, I don't understand this comment. I'm sorry. When altcoins go down, when Bitcoins goes down. Okay. I don't understand. So if Bitcoin and altcoins are both sinking, then that would just not change the dominance. It's when they change. So when Bitcoin begins to take off and the altcoins haven't taken off yet, that means the Bitcoin is very dominant. I hope that makes sense. But when it pauses and then the altcoins begin to start catching up, that's when the altcoins become dominant and the Bitcoin dominant goes down. I hope that makes sense. Between 30 to 40%, will be close to the top of what? Like where altcoin season has reached its peak? Is that what you're saying? Because that would be the end of it. Because that's the part I'm not quite sure of. Anyhow, oh, look at this, man. Rodney is the guy who said that he got in specifically because of my dream. He says, I'm holding 40K because of you, Jon. And then he says he actually took some out of his 401k to do it. So this is what I'm talking about, man. Now I never told anybody to do anything, number one. And I also said that it's up to each and every person to steward this according to their own faith level, their own testing of the word, and then their own risk capital, and et cetera, right? I said, so if you score, it's not my fault. If you lose, it's not my fault, right? And because it has to be based upon your decisions. But those who steward the word and do well with it, obviously are going, when I say do well with it, I mean steward it well. In other words, don't panic sell like some people may have this morning. That's why I titled this video Black Friday Sale Starts Now, because it's a great time to buy. I understand. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Some people aren't necessarily able to do that. And I think that these are muscles, guys. Muscles. I think muscles need to be developed. And if you're a business person, they talk about how there's good debt and bad debt. In fact, Robert Kiyosaki, he actually describes how he actually leverages debt. He says, if I make $30 million 1 year, he says, then I'll go out and I'll take out a $30 million loan on a new piece of property. He says, because that prevents me from paying taxes on that 30 million. It's pretty smart. And so there's good debt and there's bad debt. So there's ways that you can actually take out debt to make a good business decision. No, I hear what you're saying. I have different views on that, though. I have different views on that. Because, yeah. What's up with that live on Ripple? Good stuff. Then you got another one that's always late to the party, guys. It never fails. This is so funny. There you go. Okay. So I guess he was describing. Okay. I like this. The bottom line is trust in the word and the dreams. That's the thing is, and that's the thing is, very few people are prophesying XLM. And that's what I'm talking about. There are so many, and this is what I try to tell people. You can see the power in what God is getting ready to do based upon the frequency of prophecies. How come there are not many more prophetic words about XLM than there are XRP? Especially because, as you can see, it's basically performed almost twice as well as XRP since the election. And that's the thing, guys. It's the long term. It's not the short term. Because remember, I shared this earlier on when Dogecoin took off. And I'm like, dang, God, why didn't you show me that? And now that was one of the things that was prophesied, but nowhere near XRP. And so I basically made a determination and I said, well, I'm going to stick with what God's shown me. And the reason why is because he sees what we don't see. Just like we didn't see the SEC was going to appeal, shattering all of our dreams, only to come to find out that God was going to have Trump go crazy pro crypto in the last 2 weeks before the election, talking about firing Gary Gensler. I mean, come on. That's it. Like I said earlier in the video, if we did not have that, we would not be here right now, folks. Mark my words. If we did not have that, we would not be here right now. In fact, I don't know what necessarily would have happened if Bitcoin had risen naturally to XRP. I don't know if XRP would have performed. I know it wouldn't have performed nearly as well. If we didn't have what we had that nobody saw coming, we would not all be here right now. But God knew in August. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, if you steward the word of the Lord, it's the only thing we can really count on. Oh, God. No. No, it is totally a scam. Totally a scam. Guys, be very careful. Always be careful. I talk about this in my crypto course, which is listed in the description section. Guys, the whole course is $59. Buy it or don't buy it. I don't really care. It's going to benefit those of you guys who are watching and really need to understand certain things. All the different ways people get scammed in crypto, I name them. How to save on transaction fees when you're swapping crypto and all these different things. How to deal with the banks interrogating questions when you are trying to wire transfer to an exchange. How to KYC with offshore exchanges if you live in the United States. There's so many exchanges that I'm KYC'd with. I'm verified to move millions of dollars of Bitcoin or any crypto on a daily basis, totally verified with offshore verification. I'm not a U.S. resident according to this, because there are certain things that you can do. And I'm telling you, read it find it in the description section, guys. There is, in fact, I just KYC'd with a new broker today. A new broker KYC'd, and I got the layer 2 verification where I can move hundreds of millions of dollars in a day off the exchange because of this level of offshore verification. It's incredible because there's some exchanges out there, guys, they don't accept U.S. residents. And so you get the opportunity, sell or hold. Oh my gosh. Don't get rid of your XRP. All right. I am not making any recommendations though. Awesome. Yeah, it's an incredible course. I think that's That's definitely the case. If we are prophetic and have the spirit of prophecy, Jesus, should we take caution? Maybe God is saying something. Been seeing those numbers. Caroline. Who's Caroline? Carolina. Yes, Carolina. The heck is Carolina? So, I'm looking for the comment that you're responding to, but I don't see a comment that you're responding to. It doesn't look like you're making a lot of sense. But anyhow, I don't know what you think you're seeing, but I could probably make a lot of things add up to 666 if I'm scrambling a bunch of numbers together. Okay, she's on the chat. I don't see her. But here's the deal, man. Like, God is saying something. And just because, you've accepted Christ as your Lord and Savior doesn't necessarily mean that you prophesy. And so you got to be careful what you're seeing, because some people who are Christians actually need deliverance. So keep that in mind. Ox says, God told me to sell at 7,000. Okay. That's cool. That's got to be for a reason for you, because Brandon Biggs said it would go to 10,000. So I'm sure that's specific to you. Everybody's strategy is going to be the same. And that's what I'm trying to say to you guys. Everybody's strategy is going to be this. Everybody's strategy is going to be different. Nobody's strategy is necessarily going to be the same. So many fool selling. That's what I was talking about. They call it panic selling. Would the KYC protect you from taxes? I mean, you're going to be, if you are, how does it work? Like, you have to, I'm just going to say this. You have to speak to your accountant. Number one, I'm not a certified public accountant. But for informational and educational purposes, I will tell you this. If you live in the United States, if you off-ramp funds to your personal name, you're going to be responsible for finding out how to mitigate your tax liability as best as you can. I talked about Robert Kiyosaki buys properties, leverages debt to do it, takes out a big loan. Even though he has the money to pay for the property, he will take out a loan so that he doesn't have to pay taxes. So that being said, it's up to you to get creative with your accountant on how to figure that out. But, they're not going to report to the U.S. Obviously, what you do is going to be your responsibility. But according to the law, we are supposed to report things that are taxable events. There's two ways that I know of from what I've heard. And remember, I'm not an accountant. Is that there is cash-based accounting and accrual-based accounting when you are reporting crypto transactions. Accrual-based accounting is actually required for people who are politicians, etc. And accrual-based accounting is like where you have to literally record everything, a swap, a send, everything's a taxable event in that case. And it can be tedious. But cash-based accounting is like where you only, report the profit and loss that gets converted into liquidation. So cash, fiat, however that works. So when it's converted, so that's how that works. But man, as a business owner, you just have to get creative on how to mitigate your tax liability. And so there's definitely ways to do that. Some people do all sorts of different things. There's even opportunities to create offshore LLCs in jurisdictions that have incredible tax benefits. And then if you run expenses of sorts through your business, then there's ways to do that as well. I mean, there's so many different things to do, guys. And I actually share some of these things in my course. They're there. If you decide you want to take advantage of it, obviously everything's subject to your professionals that you hire to handle your legalities, etc. Yeah, there's been several announcements about a positive meeting that Ripple has had. There was speculation of him meeting with Trump. We talked about the Cardano potential. I don't know what that's about, but we shall see. Yeah, exactly. XRP to $10,000. Brandon Biggs, the prophet who prophesied, the Donald Trump attempted assassination, where he said he saw the bullet going by his ear. This was in March, 3 months before the attempted assassination. He said he saw a bullet going by his ear, blood dripping down his face, him falling to his knees. And he shared this on social media. They're still out there circulating for everybody to see, to verify. And then 3 months later, he had a bullet go by his ear, actually pierced it. Brandon did not see the piercing of the ear. And that's why he didn't understand the blood dripping down his face if it never hit him, because he didn't see the bullet actually hit him. He said it would go by his ear, blood dripping down his face, and he would fall to his knees. He says, but he would not be harmed in that. And it's incredible how accurate that came to pass. He's one that prophesied XRP to $10,000. And so, guys, Jesus Christ is Lord. I'm telling you, like, if you do not know Jesus Christ, I'm telling you right now, he is the one that these prophets are, he is the spiritual guru behind all of my dream and these others that you're hearing about. And you're not going to find prophets that are accurate like that in other religions. And I'm just telling you, it's the real deal. If you want to know the one true God, you will soon enough recognize that he is the cream of the crop. All right. Oh. Let me just see where we're at here. $1.48. $1.48. We're hovering around that. But don't forget, I'm looking forward to this thing spiking and hitting that $1.9752 is what we saw. Okay, guys, I'm off for today. Appreciate you being on. It's a great opportunity to buy the dip. It is here. We'll take care, guys.